Are you really seeing the world, or just the version your feed feeds you? Have you ever felt like the very things meant to connect us are actually locking you in? What if the constant chase for likes and approval is actually the loneliest trap you can fall into? What if the greatest freedom isn't getting more, but actually understanding less? What if the key to unlocking your true power isn't about going wider, but about daring to go deeper, inside yourself? This isn't just self-help, it's a radical shakeup of how you see everything, a shedding of the illusions that keep you chasing a life that never quite arrives. Prepare for a shift that'll make you question everything. So, what's the big idea? It's this. Our suffering doesn't come from what happens to us, but from how we judge it. This is ancient wisdom from Epictetus, a guy who went from being a slave to one of history's greatest thinkers. He knew true freedom wasn't about controlling the outside world, but about mastering your inner world. And right now, in our hyper-connected, algorithm-driven lives, this wisdom isn't just relevant, it's critical. Social media bombards you with curated perfection, conditioning you to crave external validation. Algorithms trap you, narrowing your view and making your sense of self fragile. The constant noise makes the quiet work of self-mastery feel almost impossible. Epictetus's core teaching is this simple, life-changing idea, the dichotomy of control. What's yours? Your thoughts, your judgments, your desires, your actions. What's not yours? Your reputation, your possessions, other people's opinions, the events of the world. The truth, the painful truth, is that we suffer most when we pour our energy into the uncontrollable, trying to bend the world to our will, or worse, letting it dictate our internal state. The mastery isn't a rigid wall, it's a conscious choice to reinforce that boundary. Think of your mind as a vast, wild forest. Most of us are lost travelers, desperately searching for external landmarks, approval, possessions, fleeting pleasures to guide us out. We think these will lead us to peace. But Epictetus would say the forest is your domain. Your thoughts are the trees, your emotions the undergrowth, your choices the paths. The external landmarks are illusions. The true way out isn't finding an exit, but learning to navigate the forest itself, cultivate its inner resources. This inner stewardship is the destination. Prune the branches of doubt, strengthen the roots of resilience. Let the sunlight of wisdom pierce the canopy. Psychologically, this is our natural tendency towards an external locus of control, amplified by modern life. When things get tough, we look outward. Evolutionarily, that made sense for survival. But today, our threats are often abstract. Social disapproval, FOMO. This outward focus becomes a maladaptive habit. We attribute our feelings to external factors, creating a self-esteem that bounces around like a pinball. This breeds anxiety, which drives us to seek more external validation, reinforcing the whole fragile cycle.
Take Anya, a graphic designer. Her entire self-worth is tied to likes on social media. Hours spent crafting each post. If a post flops, it's a personal rejection. Her real-life connections suffer. She's glued to her phone, comparing herself. She misses genuine connection because she's too busy curating her digital persona. How often are you checking your phone? Not from need, but from that deep-seated plea for the digital world to tell you you matter. The long-term cost for Anya? A profound emptiness, a disconnect from her true self, and an anxiety that no amount of likes can ever fill. Then there's David, a high-powered executive. His happiness hinges on a promotion, on wealth. He works relentlessly, sacrificing everything for external markers of success. He constantly compares himself, envying colleagues. He's convinced that when he reaches that next level, he'll finally feel secure. But the reality? Each achievement brings only fleeting relief before the goalposts move. Are you, like David, constantly chasing a future happiness, believing the present is just a waiting room? The long-term cost for David? Burnout, broken relationships, and a paralyzing fear of failure that stops him from taking risks that could lead to genuine fulfillment. And Sarah, terrified of conflict, desperate not to be disliked, she agrees to everything, suppresses her needs, her opinions, to avoid any hint of disapproval. She ends up resentful, exhausted, but the fear of confrontation is so overwhelming. She continues. She believes if she's not agreeable, if she voices a dissenting opinion, she'll be rejected. Do you find yourself saying yes when you desperately want to say no, sacrificing your integrity for a fragile peace? The long-term cost for Sarah? A life lived inauthentically, a slow erosion of self-respect, and a profound loneliness that comes from never truly being seen or heard. The collective cost of staying trapped in these patterns is staggering. We pay with our peace, our real connections, our health, our very sense of self. We trade the richness of an authentic life for the illusion of control over things we'll never control. This is the hidden tax on a life lived in reaction, not intention. The path to liberation from this self-made prison isn't easy, but it's the most rewarding journey you'll ever take. It starts with the courageous, deliberate act of shifting your locus of control inward. True freedom isn't the absence of external challenges, but the unwavering inner sovereignty that lets you face anything with calm and purpose. It's the strength to choose your response, to cultivate your inner world no matter the external storms. True strength isn't the absence of fear, it's mastering your reaction to it. So, what are the practical steps? First, mindful observation of your judgments. Consciously notice your thoughts and judgments about events, recognizing them as interpretations, not objective truth. Why? Epictetus taught that our judgments create our distress. By seeing them, you create space between the event and your reaction, allowing you to choose a better response. This cultivates detachment. How? Whenever you feel a strong emotion, pause. Ask yourself, what judgment am I making? Stuck in traffic? The judgment. This is unacceptable. My time is wasted. Simply recognizing this judgment without immediately acting on it is the first step. You can even label it. Judgment. Unacceptable delay. Challenges? This will feel unnatural. Your mind will resist, wanting to dive into the drama. You might feel like you're ignoring the problem. The challenge is to persist, to gently redirect your focus back to observing your own mental processes, even when it's uncomfortable.
Second, intentional action within your sphere of control. What? Actively identify and engage with what's genuinely within your power, and consciously disengage from what's not. Why? This is the dichotomy of control and action. Focusing your energy on what you can change, your effort, your attitude, your skills, builds efficacy. Wasting energy on the uncontrollable breeds frustration. How? At the start of each day or facing a challenge, ask, what aspects of this are in my control and what are not? Traffic jam again? Your control, your breathing, listening to a podcast, planning your next task. Not your control, other drivers, road conditions. Intentionally direct your energy towards those controllable elements. Listen to an audiobook or mentally prepare for a meeting. Challenges? The habit of worrying about or trying to manipulate external factors is powerful. You'll be tempted to ruminate on what you wish you could change. The challenge is to recognize this temptation, acknowledge it without judgment, and then gently but firmly redirect your focus back to your sphere of influence. Third, cultivating a preference for virtue over external outcomes. What? Prioritize developing your character, wisdom, justice, courage, over external rewards or avoiding external punishment. Why? Epictetus believed true good and evil reside in our character and our choices, not in external circumstances. When you value virtue itself, the outcome becomes secondary. You can act virtuously regardless of the result, preserving your inner integrity. How? When making a decision, ask not just what do I want to happen, but what is the virtuous way to act here? If you can gain an advantage by being dishonest, the virtuous choice is honesty, even if it means forfeiting that advantage. This requires commitment to your internal compass. Challenges? This is perhaps the toughest. It directly confronts societal norms that often prioritize success and gain. You'll face internal resistance, the voice of expediency, the temptation of the easier path with external rewards. The challenge is to consistently choose the path of virtue, even when difficult and seemingly unrewarded short-term, trusting that this internal cultivation is the only true source of lasting fulfillment.
The difficulty you'll face isn't a sign of failure. It's a powerful signal of growth. Every moment of resistance, every slip back, is an opportunity to practice with greater awareness. Pain, discomfort, frustration, these aren't enemies. They are the friction that polishes the stone of your character. Embrace them as indicators that you are actively engaging in transformation, moving beyond the superficial to the profound work of self-mastery. Ultimately, your happiness, your freedom, your fulfillment, they aren't dictated by the outside world. They are dictated by the quality of your inner life. You have the power to choose your thoughts, your judgments, your actions. The choice is yours. Will you remain a prisoner of external circumstances, or will you embrace the profound freedom of inner sovereignty? What internal narrative are you currently running, and what judgment is fueling it?